Hello everyone, this is Tina with Tia's Treasures. Today I have for you 3 cards and some inky fingers using the Hero Arts May 2022 card kit. Now I've already used this kit, so it's not as pristine. I should usually film these before I start using it, but for whatever reason I forgot. So I've got some dies that are already cut apart in here. Now these all come with the main kit. I have some add-ons too. There's little cupcakes somewhere that I'm gonna have to look for again. It keeps falling out and I keep losing it. So there's a pot, a pie, well, 2 little pots. This comes with, these are add-ons. It comes with this A2 rubber stamp. My mind wanted to say rubber die, but that wasn't right. That kind of looks like tile, so that's really fun. We get all these 8.5 by 5.5 pieces of cardstock. We get 12 sheets for each pink, mint, and white. See, we get some fuzz there. What would be the mint? It must be the blue, must be the mint. Mint's usually green as far as I always thought, unless they gave me the wrong color, which is possible, but doesn't really matter. There's the white and there's the pink. And as you can see, I did use a piece of that. We also get this background die here. Oh, there's the little cupcake. Or wait, that's a piece of toast. I still have a cupcake, I think, somewhere. It's gone. Little turkey. We get this background die that cuts this really neat looking little kitchen. I use that for one of the cards. We get some cast iron. I put it up here already. Cast iron embossing spray, embossing powder. Man, I just don't know words tonight. Some embossing and watermark ink cube. We get our stamp set. Have a delicious day. Bake a wish. Just something I whipped up. Warm wishes. My favorite chef. From Mara Kitchen to yours. May your day be filled with nothing but sweetness. You bake me happy. What's cooking? Bun in the oven. And happy birthday. And we get some baker's twine. So that is it for what's in the kit. Oh, here's my little cupcake. See, I told you there was a little cupcake. So yeah, that all goes in the kit as well. It's kind of all on there. And for some add-ons this month, I bought this cute little animal bundle here with a little rabbit, pig, and a bear. And I colored them all up. The only one I'm going to end up using is the pig. I love pigs. And so that's that. It's a little out of my comfort zone. I'm not really good with doing scene cards. So there's that. And then I also bought this die and stamp set, which has this really fun apron die with some tongs and a spatula and some sentiments. So let's go ahead and I'm going to put this away and we're going to get started. So for this first card, I am taking this background that I cut out. Now you can see I cut off all the shelves that were on the side of it. So I have no little flowers or pepper grinders or any other stuff, but I did keep the toaster, and I made a little pot and in copper, along with kind of a copperish oven vent. And I glued a white oven over the little blue drawers. And I also took little silver and I inlaid those. And I took the background stamp and I used some blue glacier embossing powder from Hero Arts. I think it came in a Christmas kit. And so here I am just gluing on this background. Now you can also see on the bottom there that I just used the embossing pad and I just kind of swiped that along and heated just the blue embossing powder on it for like a floor. It's not even because it doesn't need to be. The drawers and the little oven cover it up, but just a little bit of the floor was peeking through, so I wanted it to be separate from the kind of tile background we've got going. Now here, I have a little turkey in the oven, and I used just a piece of paper with the cast iron embossing powder that I glued behind or taped behind the oven. I also used that cast iron embossing powder for the little oven grates or the stove grates that you put your little pot on, and also for the feet of the stove. Now for the oven door, I have a little bit of, it's kind of a matte glossy specialty black paper, so I use that for the oven door, along with heat embossing the sentiment on a piece of that paper as well. It's like I don't even know what kind of cardstock it is. I don't remember where I got it. Probably Tonic. I get a lot of the specialty from them. But I also have a little piece of toast in that toaster. I couldn't resist it. So anyhow, yeah. So I popped up the sentiment and the little pot, or I'm going to be popping up the sentiment and the little pot. I haven't done it yet, but I also glued a little black handle on that pot, and I glued a little black handle on the top of the lid, which was a pain in the butt, let me tell you, getting that little bitty piece of black right on there. But I don't know, I think it just kind of adds something. I think just leaving the lid totally copper would have been like a little bit of a cop-out. So I'm just popping up. My warm wishes is the sentiment that I heat embossed on this paper. And see, there I am bringing in the Glacier Blue to show you. I swear when I do these voiceovers, I don't always get them in the right order. You know, because I speed these videos up a little bit or we'd be here all day. So I try to get in everything I need to say whenever I think about it. And the way my brain works, it doesn't work in the right order either. So we just go with what we have. Now here we are on card number 2. So I took, let's see, I'm going to try to get in the right order here. I took some pattern paper and I cut out the die, and then I also cut out the die a second time with the some red paper that's, I think it's like Echo Park papers. And I stamped the background of a piece of craft cardstock with an Argyle stamp, and I used some Simon Says saturated positively cappuccino ink on the back. And I maybe I should start slowing these down a bit. I don't know. But I have this piece of black cardstock here, which is a real flimsy piece of cardstock. I have to go through them all, though. I have a bunch in my stash, so I'm trying to use them up when I use them as a frame. You can give me a little thumbs up. That was the cardstock talking, not me. And I am just putting that on the back because I need to use up this cardstock and it's so flimsy. I can't use it for card bases. I do have some Hero Arts black cardstock. Now that stuff's amazing. But I'm kind of hoarding it right now. I'll use it when I run out of this stuff, which I probably never will. I have so much of it. And I'm just going to glue this background down. That background's 4 by 5 1/4. And you can subscribe. See, the cardstock's just being mouthy tonight, telling you to do things. Or is the glue bottle? I don't know. I think they might be in cahoots. So I'm going to glue that down right on top of that black cardstock. Kind of center it there. And now I am going to glue down my apron. Now the way I got that red insert was the die did not cut that out. So I went ahead, in order to tell where the lines were, to cut that red out really, I embossed it. I ran it through with the rubber embossing mat, so I got a real good impression so I could cut out the red and not have it look dumb, because I tried it twice, and the first time my lines were way off, so I needed a better way, so I made sure to emboss it so I could see, and just follow the lines when I fussy cut it out. And I'm just gluing it down here. I went ahead and I stamped a little pig on the apron. I mentioned, I think before, but I really love pigs. Now, personally, I don't go around wearing things with pigs on it because, being as a woman, I don't need anybody like coming in on my extra few pounds around my belly and me wearing a pig shirt. That just, I guess I could. I'm at an age where I really don't care that much anymore, but I used to. And so, give it to the dad. Let him wear the pig around. Hell, he's almost been the same size since we got married. He can wear a pig. And here I am. I'm just sticking in the little spatula there. I'm sticking it in the pocket. The nice thing about this apron here is it's got two cutouts for the pockets. The die automatically cuts it out. All you have to do is open it. And now I've got this pair of tongs. Now, I don't know about you, but I cannot pick up a pair of tongs without clicking them together. At least 2 times, sometimes 3. You got to click, click, click. Or they're just, I think if you don't click your tongs, you're a psychopath. I'm sorry, it's just the way it is. So, even my fake tongs, I dream about clipping. Clipping. I guess you could clip with your tongs, maybe. And here I am. I am just gluing down some little stars. I thought we had a little bit of extra room on the bottom there. So I put down 5 little stars. I put 2 in the upper right hand corner and 3 in the lower right hand corner. Because of the way our apron is tilted, I kind of wanted to, leave them all on the same size. And hopefully, as I'm doing this voiceover, I see that my battery is low. I've got my computer in one room and the cord in another. So let's just cross our fingers and hope I can get through it without, my battery dying. I'm just batting 1,000. Now, this Glossy Accent, as soon as I put this down, I started thinking, was this the greatest idea I ever had? No, it was not, because I needed to get it down in those little legs. And I thought I could just use my pick and kind of pull it down. And I kept trying, and it didn't really work. So I end up taking my card over off to the side just momentarily, and I use a little water brush, and I just pull down the Glossy Accents with that. Now, that works. That lets me pull it over into the ear and tail and the legs. And anyway, that's card 2. Now for card 3, this one I really like. It's a lot of fun. I cut out the little stove and I put the little silver dials on and silver handle and the black door again. I didn't use the cast iron embossing powder. I just colored it. But I did emboss "To Bake the World a Butter Place" on the card, and I used a brick stencil, and you can see my little pig. I colored that with some Zig Real Color markers, and instead of the blue twine, I've got some red baker's twine. I ended up using some cherry saturated, positively saturated ink on this. I looked at my Hero ink cubes that I have. I try to use Hero products if I can, but I didn't have a real good red one, and I just liked the way the red looked. And the cardstock is, it's some tonic cardstock. It's textured on the back side. So I just went ahead and I used a generic stencil, and I did use for the floor, I've got a Simon Says stamp that does floors and different, grass and different things. You pull it apart. I think I was going to show it, and I don't think I did. And here I'm just wrapping the twine around. Well, I'm going to wrap the twine around. I had to figure out the stove thing first. And then I remembered the stove was stove or oven? Which do you say? It's technically an oven, but I just have always called it a stove. Well, okay, actually I've called it both. It just depends on what word comes out of my mouth. So I'm wrapping the twine around 3 times. The oven is going to go on top of it. I'm going to pop it up. And I'm going to end up popping up my little piggy too. And here we're just trying to put some double-sided tape on the twine so it will stay in place. And I get that all put down. And I'm going to pop up the back so that twine does not leave like a big bump in the cardstock. And I just cut the center out. I guess I really didn't need to, but I did just because it just seemed like a good idea at the time. I put down a lot of strips of foam tape here. And I decide after I get my second strip there, it's like I really probably should remove the background or the release paper on my tape, my double-sided tape, before I put down my foam tape. So that's what I'm doing. I don't always think all my steps through. I just start creating, and sometimes it works, and sometimes I'm like, wait, I should have done this first, or I should have done that first. So at least this time I did remember to put my twine on before I glued that piece of red cardstock to the black, because a lot of times I forget to put the twine on. Now, if I would have forgotten the twine, I may have just skipped the bow altogether. If it was a piece of ribbon, I probably would have just, glued the ribbon on the front of the card. I don't always put my thicker ribbons behind the back. The twine I just thought would look good wrapped around, so that's what I did. I don't tend to use a whole lot of twine on my cards. I prefer ribbon when I am doing that. I'm rambling again. It's been a long day. So I'm going to center that on the card. And now you're going to just see me put my stove down. And I end up putting it on crooked. I do fix it in the end, but not for a bit. For a while you're going to have to look at a crooked stove, and it's going to probably drive you as crazy as it drove me. And I thought I could get over it. I didn't think it was that crooked, but the more I looked at it, the more it was just like, no, that's just wrong. So I'm tamping down my pig. That's popped up too. And I am going to take some glue dots, and I'm going to use those to put my bow in place. And I decided it's just a little big for the space that it's going to occupy, so I adjusted a bit. It's double-sided. It's double twine, a double twine bow, because one piece is just too skinny. And I use some little glue dots here, and the reason I'm using 3 is I'm going to put the center of the bow on the twine, and then I'm going to put the little tails, I'm going to put them right in the 2 glue dots so they don't go flailing all over the place, and they kind of have a little bit of a neater appearance. Now I also am going to use a little bit of glue in the center of this bow too, because when it dries, I want it to be really permanent. I don't want it to go anywhere, and I like the double protection that gives me. So here we are. We're just tamping those down, and you can see that it's really nice, neat look. And I'm looking at that. Now I'm fixing that darn stove. Come on, fix the stove. It's kind of out of camera. And I'm looking at that, and I still think it needs a little something. Now, after not adding anything to the first card when I was done, this one I bring in some little, some clear domed embellishments. Now, it says fine silver on that cap, but they are not silver, nor are they fine. They are little plastic resin dots, and they're driving me crazy because I can't get them to turn over. They're all upside down like little turtles on their backs. And so I'm messing with them, and I'm taking them right out of the container, and then I decide that I am not going to let these little resin dots control me, so I'm like, I should be able to flip that over. And no, it gets under the oven leg, and there it's just going to go off to the side. And I'm finally just going to pick the darn thing up and turn it over, and I finally get that to work. And now I am just going to add some little drops of glue that, even though they look white now underneath these resin dots, they are eventually going to dry clear, and so hopefully you're going to see the red bricks through them, and it's going to look real pretty. And I have a dog barking in the background now, which I don't know at what. It's almost 9:30 at night. My dogs, I tell you what. So anyhow, that is card number 3. So if you like this video and you don't mind being told what to do by glue and cardstock, please give it a thumbs up or subscribe. Bye-bye for now, everyone. Love ya.